Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. My hair is irritating me. About to cut it off. That's how girls deal with stuff. You irritate me, I cut you off. Hold on, guys. Let me just plug this mofo in. There we go. There we go. All right, let's get started. Pisces, I got a message that a message is coming in from the deep, and we're needing to probably open ourselves to hearing the message, or I don't know. I don't know. So let's go ahead and just pull some cards, okay? Don't mind me. Today is a thrashed kind of day. It's a thrashed kind of day today. Whew. Oh shit. I almost threw the cards. So let's just pull some. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. Let's pull a couple more of these. But yeah. Uh-oh, you've been in a funk. I don't know if this message will be good for you. That I don't know what the message is. I just know that messages are coming in. So let's go ahead and see what these messages are. Hopefully my salty will not interfere with the message. I'm thinking that it won't. Thinking that it won't. Or it might. Just getting a couple other cards. All right. Okay, here goes. Are you guys ready for this? Mm-hmm. All right. Here goes. So, card number 34, in the world, not of the world. This is such a Pisces card, if I've ever seen a Pisces card. So we're in this world, but we don't necessarily function like we're of this world. And what ends up happening is you end up really constricting, binding your own personal power. So now is the time for you to lean back into your own greatness, allow your hair down, allow it to be unbound, and really just enjoy who you are. Celebrate you and yourself. You don't really need to pay attention to the other fish at this point. I think what's been going on is Pisces has been so concerned about what the other fish are going to think about us. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? What if they get mad? Well, they always mad at us anyways, Pisces. They always mad at us anyways. It's always our fault for something. We're liars and we're shady. And granted, there are some Pisces who are shady, who are liars. I'm not one of them, so I can kind of giggle about that shit. Like, you really believe them when they were giving you all that bullshit? It ties back to this. I'm out of coffee. It ties back to this meme that I had seen today. Someone who I don't know posted. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Show me a woman who isn't afraid to leave her phone out in a room with her man when she's not around. Go ahead, I'll wait. That's what the meme says. I have my own little response, but it's kind of like that, where because they lack the proper decision making skills, they lack the proper level of discernment for their own life, suddenly all women are bad, all women are this and that. Well, the fact is, the people who post those type of things and really really resonate with it are the very people who are choosing the individuals that are, hey, let's be very blunt here, that are hoish. Okay. Is it bad to be hoish? I mean, I don't know, what you like. As long as you're not affecting my family, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in that. That's your life. But If, as an individual, you're choosing a partner that has hoish tendencies because that's what you like, don't later then be mad that she won't leave her phone with you. That's what hoish people do. They have their stuff that they do that they keep very private, but that you like that before, right? So you can't go around and complain later and then dump all women in the same freaking category, because not all women are like that. Just like not all Pisces are like that, okay? Not all of us play these weird ass games. I'm pretty blunt. I'm not gonna like, okay, if I don't want nothing to do with you, you're gonna know I don't want nothing to do. I don't care how many times you apologize. You just, I'm sorry, you don't exist anymore. That's just how my temperament goes. So, card number 13, liberation, free yourself. And this is a thing. We keep imprisoning ourselves and attacking ourselves under the guise of um, what, spirituality, consciousness evolution. What is that? We hold ourselves to such a high, unrealistic, unfair standard. Again, this is not all Pisces, okay? There are some Pisces who are very unbalanced and just flat out crazy as fuck. I know a few of them. I do. I know a few of them, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah, wow. Okay, you don't exist either. Card number 19, balance. You have to keep the balance in all your phases. Stay centered at the truth of your being. At your very core, you are empowered by your truth. Okay? Always empowered by your own truth. And it's time you stop letting other people and their assumptions to affect you and what you perceive as truth for yourself. Now, Pisces, you got to be honest with yourself as well. If you have a hard time with reality, that's harsh. Uh, but it's the truth. If you have a hard time with reality, you need to be honest with yourself. Like, you lack the ability to discern. Some Pisces do. Some Pisces do. And that's just something you're going to have to really be honest with yourself about. You can't be like, oh, well, Emmie said this in her reading and it sounds good and it's for Pisces and I'm a Pisces, so this applies to me, knowing damn well you've been lying to everybody in your life because you're unbalanced. This is a general reading. Don't be using me and my words to justify the insanity that you choose to participate in or create for yourself. So here we go. Card number 16, what you want wants you. So if you really want your truth, if you really want growth, it wants you too. It will happen for you. But if what you want is to get what you want, meaning it doesn't matter if it's toxic, it doesn't matter how they treated you before, none of that matters. You want them in your life because you've convinced yourself they need to be in your life. That's what you'll get. They'll probably come back and they'll probably keep treating you like caca, at which point you chose that. So no, nobody needs to feel badly for you. Nobody needs to be like, oh my God, girl, oh my God, I can't believe I can believe. I absolutely can believe he's treating you like that, because that's how he treated you before you manifested him coming back. So I can believe it. And at that point, I don't need to save you from what you've chosen. Okay. No one is going to save you from what you choose for yourself. Now, this is not the same as, like you're in a very, very psychologically, physically, mentally abusive relationship, and it's really affected the way your mind functions, because there are very real effects from that type of abuse. They even have a name for it, battered wife syndrome, okay? And you don't even have to be physically battered to get this type of really distorted mental processing. It's not about that. That you absolutely need help. I'm talking about the people who continuously choose the toxic things in their life because that's what they like, okay? I don't know if maybe there's no difference. To me, there is a difference. But I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of pocket. Card number 23, panacea. There's a solution for every problem. That solution is not going to help you rise so long as you keep yourself tied to that dead weight. So long as you keep allowing those with a forked tongue to hold symposium with your mind and your heart. This is about consciously allowing other people to manipulate you. This is about consciously allowing other people to treat you badly because of the emotional payoff. There are those of us who are, in fact, addicted to hurt, addicted to drama. And without that, when life is calm, we don't know what the hell to do with ourselves. So we go and look for it. And this is primarily to those who are unbalanced. Okay. And I'm not saying those who are unbalanced are less than those who are in a state of balance. I'm saying there are two very different, and of course, varying degrees of placement in between those two extreme polarities. But there are very different journeys going on right now. And these are the messages that are coming up from the deep, 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 deep within your actual truth. Some of us, card number 25, some of us are resisting the change, resisting the growth. We're so, and I see this so often. I see this so, so often. Someone who absolutely needs to focus on their internal wounds, their distorted perceptions, and these are not labels that are meant to degrade you or make you feel less than. These are things within us that we need to observe so that we can determine if it needs to be modified. But I see no shortage of people who constantly ask about how to heal their twin, how to this their twin, how to that their twin, their twin, their twin, their twin, soulmate, soulmate, soulmate. It's like, boo, they're not there because you're toxic. You're the toxic one. You're the toxic one. That's why. Their soul took them away because you're the toxic one. And half the time I don't have the heart to say it because they're really caught up in their perception of this person is just denying me. I mean, this shit is thrown at me all the time. I am the recipient of this quite a bit, where people identify me as their twin. I'm not your twin. I'm not. I'm not. And they refuse to let go of that notion. And it almost always gets back to me. Almost always gets back to me where so and so says you're their twin, and that you know you're in denial. You're in denial, and you keep ignoring them. Denial about what? I'm pretty sure that I'm sensitive to my truth, and if you're not my twin, that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people refuse to accept when the other person doesn't want to acknowledge. Yeah, it's crazy. Card number 6, shock of the new. This is going to be a very, very new phase for all of us. Okay. For all of us, everything is being allowed to shift and change. And for those who don't want to shift, don't want to allow the shift to occur for them, no one else is going to do this for you. First and foremost, no one else is going to do this for you. You have to allow the shift on your own terms. And if you're not going to allow the shift, you're going to be fighting with your higher self, and you will lose that. Okay. You will lose that fight 100% of the time. Sometimes the higher self will humor you and give you some time to process and come to a point of acceptance of your path. But for the most part, you'll lose that every single time. Might take longer than other times, might come sooner than other times, but every single time you will lose that. So you have to allow for the flow. You have to allow for the flow of the new music. There's a lot of heart activation that's being allowed to happen. Again, for those of us who are in alignment with this growth, this new thing, old things will pop up, we'll process it, we'll move forward, we'll integrate and move forward. For those of us who are really, really fighting our own growth, what will probably end up happening is you'll be nonstop triggered about I don't know what, and it will bring you back to places where you were hurting very deep. It could have been from last week, it could have been from last month, from last year, from early childhood, from a previous life, but that triggering will take you right back to there, and you will go ahead and blame everyone else instead of you taking accountability And accountability does not necessarily mean that's you admitting you're wrong. A lot of people get hung up on that. Taking accountability is taking ownership of the decisions you've made. Okay. So it's time for us to take accountability for decisions we've made. If it's things in a previous life, obviously, how will you integrate that by taking accountability? You're going to have to allow yourself to process. You're going to have to allow yourself to really explore whatever your higher self is showing you about that previous life. This may come as dreams, this may come as random thoughts, visual flashes, all kinds of different ways the soul communicates that it's time to begin processing things from our previous life. Um, there's a lot of information that comes forward, and most of the time it's very difficult for us to um, acknowledge what this information is. And if it's difficult for us to acknowledge what this information is, then it's going to be a dang near impossible for us to actually begin processing. Okay. Avoidance is not going to get you anything but that cycle to circle back around, gain more momentum, and hit you even harder when it comes back, because it will come back. There's nothing when it comes to soul lessons, there's nothing that you can avoid and not have it come back and bite you in the ass later. It's just, that's how I know it to be. And that's how I know it to be for myself. Okay. Um, Card number 27, resilience, burn away the past. You're very resilient. Pisces really is. We're so accustomed to chaos, so accustomed to chaos. Maybe chaotic thoughts, chaotic emotions, maybe just a flat out chaotic environment. But chaos seems to be the home of Pisces. If you really embody a potent amount of Pisces energy, because we have other things in our chart that affects our perception and our path. But if you really embody much of that Piscean energy, it's a very chaotic one, very, very, very chaotic one. And you have to stop using excuses that basically call your strengths handicaps. Okay. Well, I can't focus because I have ADHD. Well, I have ADHD too. And I've come to realize ADHD is my ability to exist on a multidimensional level. Okay. I'm constantly distracted because my brain is processing multiple levels of dimensional consciousness simultaneously. Doesn't make me any better. It just totally helps you to understand why your brain may function the way that it does. So, card number 17, self reflection. Mm-hmm. So, many of us are failing to look at what is really going on. Okay. So, there's a part of us that's looking straight ahead at the reflections we see in other people, and there's a part of us that's turned our back to it. You have to ask yourself, why did I turn my back to it? Why have I turned away? Notice both of them have eyes that are closed. Both of them have closed eyes. And that's because oftentimes it's very, very, very difficult for us to go ahead and actually allow ourselves to view the truth as it's unfolding in front of us. Hold on. I have to sit and think why it is that we dance around the topic of abusive relationships. I just saw a comment, not to diminish the darkness that can be brought, not to diminish the darkness that can be received, two sides of a coin, not referring to abusive situations. I don't know. You know what? That's something that I kind of was questioning as soon as I became aware that there might be interpretation of this reading that applies to abusive situations. I then felt the need to dance around it, like, oh, that's uncomfortable. I shouldn't talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I think that's probably one of the things we need to talk about the most. Because remember, this is a message of avoidance, right? Abusive situations don't just involve other people hurting us. a lot of the abuse that Pisces suffers from day to day, a lot of the abuse that we really, really struggle with is self-inflicted abuse. And Pisces very much struggles with the acknowledgement, the really, oops, oh, that's what this is. That ties into this. Turning your back on yourself, abandonment of self, avoidance of the reflections. That's intense. The refusal to see that you are allowing yourself to drown in your own waters, choosing to, on some level, ignore and deny that those waters are your birth waters, and just like a newborn, still within the mother's womb, there is no chance you will drown in your water. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. So why do we avoid that? Why do we avoid the topic of abuse? Avoidance of our own growth. It's such a deep, deep path. I don't know what this deck is. This was given to me as a gift. There was no box. I don't know what deck it is. Let's see. Right, the feeling of bad, the shame. And we do tend to avoid the topic of pain. And pain is what I have personally identified as the greatest teacher in this life. Right, Ella, because it makes us see the truth. And oftentimes the truth is we're not exactly how we present ourselves, how we want other people to see us. Ooh, these are some deep ass lessons, words for myself personally. Oh my God. I got triggered maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I don't know. I don't have a sense of time. Recently, it was pretty recent. I got triggered because someone jokingly was like, I had posted something about a microroni, which is a stabilizing attachment for a Glock, for a gun. It's a gun post. I thought it was sexy. I thought it was sexy, so I posted it. I loved it. And someone jokingly, and I didn't take it as a joke, I thought you said you were compassionate. It would have helped if they put like an LOL at the end of it or something, but it was like a sense of this is how they saw me. And it triggered me because I've never, I try to live compassionately, but I've never gone out of my way to create a compassionate image of myself. Just like when someone had left a comment saying something about, why do I feel the need to prove I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm not trying to create an image of badassery. If I was, my personal style is very similar to Rihanna. I would be dressing my ass up with some badass makeup, fucking thick ass lashes, some extensions. I'm just saying, okay? I would, but I have no interest in creating an image. And so that triggered me because it's like, who the fuck are you to try and tear me down because you've created an image of me for yourself. That's how you see me. That's not how I'm trying to be seen. So really, I think a lot of our avoidance comes from our fear of how other people will see us, and this refusal to see that we're, to whatever degree, we are not existing in the totality of our authenticity, genuine authenticity, not any sort of cultivated, premeditated, authentic moments. It's not even authentic. Notice how that shit's not authentic. If you have to think about it and you have to try, that shit is not authentic. It's not. Someone had once asked if I make bullet point notes before I go live. What the fuck? I don't know. Some people might. I don't. Shit just comes out my mouth. It comes out my mouth. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, that was harsh. And then sometimes I'm like, ooh, that's true. So let's get more cards. Okay. These are some deep messages, and then they totally apply to me as well, my personal journey. I'm probably going to forget by the time the live is done, but this is a nice moment of clarity. King of Swords in reverse, cold, abrasive, demands respect. It's time to undo this type of energy within our field, okay? Within our field. A lot of people who don't actually understand the truth and gravity of Pisces and their salt, they have this assumption that Pisces is very easy to bully around. Pisces is very wishy-washy. Pisces doesn't finish anything. Pisces this, Pisces that, all negative. The fact is, Pisces, when they're done being nice, because that's our major fault, we're trying to be nice. When we're done being nice, we become very cold. Well done. Very cold, abrasive, demanding respect. Okay, so we're not going to allow the circumstance of our lives, the way people have, some people have forced us into a corner, an emotional, mental corner. We're not going to allow that to keep us locked into this way of being. Okay, because if you gotta get like this with someone, then you gotta get like this with someone. But you don't give them the kind of power that will imprison you into this way of being. If that's not how you want to be, if that's not the kind of person you want to be, then don't be that way. Okay? Don't be that way. So there are times where I have to get really, really firm and sometimes flat out nasty with somebody and be like, fuck you. But I'm not going to stay there. I'm not going to stay there. You don't get that kind of power where you're going to dictate to me how I'm going to feel that day. All right. I'm going to address you head on, head on. I'm going to address you head on, and I'm going to cut you loose and go about the rest of my day. I'm not going to carry the weight of you and your toxicity with me through the whole day. So this is something you have to consciously choose, Pisces, because Pisces does have a habit of really, really getting so deep in the fixation of, oh my God, I can't believe they hurt me. Oh my God, I can't believe they did this. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. We have to consciously be like, you know what? F that. I'm done with it. So, Devil card in reverse. Jealousy or trouble, able to break the chains that are binding you or holding you back. I feel like whatever this is, it all ties in. The chains, the misconceptions that are holding you back, the speaking, communication with a forked tongue, the refusal to look at what's really going on, avoidance. This all boils down to avoidance. Your avoidance will keep you imprisoned within your own mind and your own heart. Okay? It will keep you imprisoned. There's no one else that's imprisoning you. It's you. It's you. Your refusal to let go of whatever it is you're holding on to, whatever toxicity it is that you were hurt so bad, and it's not a sense of you're making it up, you're being dramatic. No, it feels like for a good portion of Pisces, you were really hurt so bad, and you just can't move past it. I don't know. I keep getting this sense, and I'm having a hard time communicating it because it comes from such a place of ego that doesn't resonate with me. My ego functions in a different manner, and so it's okay. Whatever the message. I can't believe they did that to me. Like, do they even know who I am? Type of energy. And I think that might be the problem. I think that might be the problem. If, and this is not to, again, shame you or degrade you in any way. This is about helping you gain clarity. But if you do have that kind of mindset, if you find yourself thinking that type of thing, and not just to empower yourself, but if you find yourself thinking that type of thing genuinely, like, do they even know who I am? Like, who the hell are they to just not want me? Well, here's the thing. Do you know who you are? Because your soul's calling you out. You've turned your back on seeing your actual truth. Do you know who you are? Because if you don't know who you are, if you don't know the true value of who you truly are in your authenticity, I'm not talking about the you that you've cultivated to look, very attractive, very intelligent, very successful. I'm not talking about that public persona. I'm talking about the truth of who you really, really are. If you don't know that, then you can't expect someone else who hasn't seen that to value it. And that's deep. That's deep because and like I said a few seconds ago, my ego functions in a different way. It's not that I don't struggle with ego, because I absolutely do. My ego, when it flares, and some Pisces will be able to relate with this, especially if you're Blu-ray. Pisces who also have Blu-ray in their coding, when your ego flares, you don't think you're better than everyone. It's the opposite. It shrinks you down. It gets you real quiet. It makes you question your worth. And um, it works the same, but in a flipped way. If I haven't been able to see my actual true value, if I keep shrinking myself, and then there's people that come along and try and force me to shrink myself, that is a reflection of something going on within you. And this is what I've been learning over and over and over again. The conversations that you have within your mind with yourself are the very things you'll experience outside of yourself. Your soul will bring people who are reflections of an internal circumstance, and they'll bring it externally. If you are refusing, if you are choosing to turn your back, avoid, 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 resisting your own growth, your soul will bring people to you. And they will very much mirror the things you are very secretly thinking about yourself, feeling about yourself. They'll mirror that. So, really, what's going on? Is it that people are hurting you? Or is it more that you've been very stubborn and haven't been wanting to really analyze the things you're supposed to analyze as requested by your higher self? I'm not talking about someone outside of you, Pisces. This is you. This is something you have to do for you. Okay? I had to learn this lesson real hard. It took me an entire fucking year. Not joking. It took me an entire fucking year actively in this lesson, from group to group to group, because my avoidance game, bar none, I can avoid like a motherfucker. So then my soul would get another group to come and attack me and say the very same things the previous group did. And what's crazy, if I really, really look at how it relates to my psychology, my personal psychology, these groups that would eventually attack me in that year, um, they first began loving me and appreciating me and like, oh my God, Emmie, you're the truth. Oh my God, Emmie, you're so amazing. You're this and and just really hyping me up, and nothing changed because I don't even really want to hear any of that shit. It didn't blow up my head. I was just like, well, that's stop saying that. It's weird. And then they would later attack me. Okay. And it's not that I'm saying this for you to feel sorry for me. I'm sharing this so you can see the avoidance. It's the same thing. It's like the same exact model for that group. It got transferred to the group that was supporting me and encouraging me as they were attacking me. And then the second group would do that too. And then another group. And at the very end of this, someone who was once a really good friend of mine, um, this person was like a really, really good friend of mine. They ended up parting ways with me at this point. But before they did, they were like, yo, this some fucked up shit. If it keeps happening with group after group after group, you got to really be real with yourself. You're the problem. And I had to really, I really took that in. I wasn't hurt by it. I was like, you know what? I've been asking myself that. How the fuck am I continuously redoing this type of situation with different groups? And then I realized it's not that I was starting drama, because I'm very real with myself. I can call myself out. Sometimes, yeah, I start shit. Sometimes I can't help it. I will start shit. You piss me off enough, I will fucking start shit with you. It takes a lot. Very, very rare for me to do that, but I am capable. So I was like, I know I'm not starting shit. I'm just being very supportive. And then I realized all of this energy that I was supposed to be giving myself to help myself grow, to help myself elevate my consciousness and expand it. Because I was so afraid of my own spiritual success, I was giving it out to other people. Because I couldn't do this for myself, I was doing this for other people. And when I began to withdraw that, I was actively feeding parasitic individuals. And in my mind, I'm just being loving. I'm just being supportive. I just want to be a really, really good friend. I want you to have success and abundance in all its forms. And I failed to realize that need was masking a very deep internal toxicity within myself. And they were reflecting that. And that one comment that I don't know if he was meaning for it to be hurtful, but it really got me to stop and be like, shit, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm just in denial and not wanting to see what's the actual issue. And that got me to really look within myself. And then I saw I'm creating codependency. What the fuck? And I'm over here. I don't like codependency, but yet this is what I was doing with other people. But because I was in control of that, where I'll only give when I feel like it's in alignment, not for my benefit, but with my energy, it's in alignment, then I was able to convince myself, no, this is healthy. This is healthy. And it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. It was a way that I found to avoid allowing myself to receive. And it was like, holy shit. Holy shit. And so once I figured that out for myself, I had to figure this out for myself because no one else was going to figure this out for me. And once I was able to do that, all of those cycles completely stopped. And at first I thought because I built up my walls enough and like fuck that. I'm not letting anyone else in. I'm not, helping anyone else. I'm not trying to plug anyone else. I still won't work with other people when it comes to energy just because I can't secure it. But I realized those walls that I was in became my own prison. So you have to really be willing to look at what's going on. You should really, really allow yourself, and you don't have to do this publicly. There's no shame in you doing this privately for yourself, letting yourself see the truth of who and what you are. It's your fear of not being perfect that's really, really imprisoning you. For me, it was my fear of people not thinking I was nice because I'm very much aware I can be a very aggressive, very powerful force to reckon with. If you really try and come at me like that, I will shut your shit down. And for me, that's it's a form of power that I was afraid of because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to control that aspect of myself. I was afraid that that would be something that would turn me into a horrible person. And it took another friend to have this conversation with me. You come from Michael's line. Michael's not some senseless murderer. He only does what creator instructs him to do. He is a supporter. He is the truth of warrior energy. The truth of warrior energy has integrity. And this is the very reason why many of my lives I was filtered through the samurai. The code of Bushido is burned into my template. It's burned into my template. So you guys have to allow these different aspects of yourself to come forward, to be processed, so that you can understand all those lives that I've lived, they've culminated into who I am right now. I'm not a brand new soul. I've been through so many different things and I will not lose control. I won't. I have to allow myself to embrace my shadow aspect. I have to allow myself to embrace, to receive the truth of my power because creation exists in balance. It's always balanced. Your light will be as bright as your darkness is dark. Let that sink in. There's always balance. If you have 5 grams of light, you will also contain 5 grams of darkness. So if you guys think, damn, she's hella sweet, and though my level of sweetness is matched by my darkness, it's balance, and just knowing that whatever, if you've reached that awareness of your balance, whatever reaction you're needing to have, you will have. Be compassionate with yourself. You can't always be like this person who masters the appropriate automated response. Someone once commented that, and they weren't being malicious. They were actually trying to be encouraging, where it's like, if you can figure out how to master responding to people in every circumstance, then you would have mastered this life. And I immediately, boom, just like that, I got the message. I'm not here to master this life. I'm here to experience it. I'm not here to begin programming a pre-recorded response. I'm here to experience knee-jerk reactions, to experience a knowing of when to pause and consider what the appropriate response will be. I'm here to fully live, fully exist, fully explore the depths and the heights of my own internal circumstance. And that's what we have to begin doing, Pisces. Okay. The Hermit in reverse. There's no longer a need for you to feel lonely and unattached, and soul searching time needed or time. All of that is done. It's done. You just have to allow yourself to accept and embrace you are not alone within yourself. It's time to dive deep within yourself and enjoy your own company. Okay. It's time to recognize the period of you feeling like you've lost yourself, that you have to find yourself. It was all for a reason, to gain your awareness. How are you going to begin looking deeper in yourself if you feel like you're already there? You won't. You like there's no reason to. I know who I am. A lot of people say that. I know who I am. I know who I am right now. I'm always changing. I'm always changing. Every circumstance changes me, for the good, for the bad, just in a different way. It always changes me. But you needed to have that moment of feeling lost so that you could actively choose to look for who you actually are now, who you are in every moment. Okay. King of Cups. I'm told to read this verbatim. Whatever. King of Cups, man over 25 years, blue eyes, fair or brown hair, gentle, emotional, shy. So there will be an energy similar to this description that will be coming forward. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical person who is over 25 with blue eyes, fair or brown hair, is gentle, emotional, and shy. But there is something that this represents. It's an energy, some sort of, I'm being told, a lesson coming back round because you had turned your back to that lesson. You had resisted the growth that lesson would bring. You had allowed yourself to be tied to the fire of your past. You refused to liberate yourself. And you also refused balance. You chose to keep your head in the clouds, to keep yourself from seeing that you had this all along. Whatever this energy is, it's very deeply connected to you, in some magical way. It's connected to you. That's all on that. Card number 18, the moon. Deception or delays, emotions up or down, maybe deceiving yourself emotionally or others. That's what this whole thing is. This whole message, this entire reading, Pisces, is about self-deception. Okay. Oh, Aristos. Universe, quit sending me lessons. I'm tired. As soon as I saw universe, I heard, stop sending the lessons away and we'll stop sending them back. Smacked you in the bottom, boo-boo. Your higher self ain't playing. Oh my God. Stop refusing to learn that lesson. I can feel the truth of how much you've struggled with whatever it is. I know. This card is for that sentiment. Ace of Swords, frustrations, double-edged sword, hollow victory. So here's the thing, and not to single you out. Here's the thing. If I did this too, if you continue to refuse to allow the lesson to come forward so that you can fully learn it, it will continue to circle back around. That is a hollow victory. So when it circles back around and smacks you because it's a hollow victory, there's no substance inside to absorb that smack. You will crumble. Okay, so that's something to definitely keep in mind. Let me get you guys your poetry, and then I gotta go play BB guns. Oh my God, why did you have to say that? I know why, but no. Boo. Hope you got some bobby pins to secure your hair because you about to get grabbed and dragged by your highest self. You're welcome, Aristos. All right, guys. Here's your poetry. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Let me find the card again. I was going to ignore the card, but this is not my reading. It kind of is, but it's also shared with you guys. So I need to give you the message for whoever needed it. Okay. All right. So card number 15, Divine Mother Manifests. Oh, you living in the world of 6 directions, accept the gloom and accept the bliss, for those seeds buried in the ground will one day grow into fruitful orchards. Ooh, ooh. You're a seed, and if you're surrounded by caca, if that's all people keep giving you, flinging at you is caca, caca then becomes the fertilizer that accelerates and supports your growth. You are an orchard within yourself, okay? We share her, this divine mother. You and I, we are her precious children. We are born through her love, and she shares in our losses and our gains, our tragedies and our triumphs. Her hair forms the galaxies, her thoughts become the stars. The sun is her own warmth, and her breath is felt upon this earth, causing the roar of the ocean waves. Her voice is heard in the call of the whales and the trill of the birds. She is all, nurturing life into existence. She is in my reaching for you, and she is in your acceptance of my divine hand. She is all, this great lady. Nothing lies outside of her sphere of influence and power, compassion and grace. That includes you and your dreams, great and small, my angel of love. This oracle comes to you via the sacred grace and mercy of the Divine Mother, who is the great manifesting expression of divinity. All that is created, all that is made manifest without exception, flows from her being. This is why it's safe to trust in life, even most especially the inexplicable mystery and even the darkness that may give rise to fear and judgment within us. It's all part of her unfathomable workings. Hold on. You're being asked to receive this gift completely and utterly, whether you feel sufficiently worthy or not. It's time, and the bestowal of this gift is as it should be, whether it seems to be in the best form or how it should be according to your opinion or the opinions of others. It is as a divine mother has accorded it to be. So you're being given a gift of learning, a gift of potentiality rising, an elevated potentiality within you is being allowed to be almost accessible. All you have to do is face yourself, because this gift is buried deep within you, surrounded by your own bullshit. That's deep. Surrounded by our own bullshit. This entire time, we have been bullshitting ourselves to varying degrees. Why? Is it because we're bad people? Is it because we're weak? Is it because we're liars? And no, it's because we've allowed ourselves to be distorted by the perceptions of other people. And so the distortions caused us to bullshit ourselves. But guess what? That in itself is a gift, because all of that bullshit that you've been feeding yourself has become the very fertilizer that's now going to grow you into the orchard that you are. And the orchard that you are growing to be will be something that will sustain you for the rest of your days. This orchard can give you shelter from inclement emotional and mental weather. It can also give you the sustenance that your soul is starving for. You are complete in yourself, Pisces. You are absolutely complete in yourself. And it's time for you to begin really, really exploring that truth within you. So let's get the next card. I don't know. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before. But I also have a really bad memory, so I probably pulled it yesterday. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Card number 31, commitment. The awakened heart is like a lantern. Keep it sheltered from the turbulence of the winds of desire. Now, wind is our communication. Wind is exhale. How do we communicate? How do we verbalize? By controlling the sound that's emitted as we exhale. Try talking without exhaling. Impossible. So, turbulence of the winds of desire, turbulence of the winds, you talking caca to yourself. That's enough of it, okay, Pisces? We are candles lit by the one great flame. The breath of life does not extinguish us. On the contrary, it only serves our flame to blaze brighter. Here in the temple of one love, there's no flickering or smoke to our flame. We are natural in our purpose, simply to bring the warmth and light of love to life. We dance through, though we are stillness. We are on fire, though we do not burn. There's a flame that must be safeguarded. In truth, it can never be extinguished. It's the light that never goes out. Even with such enduring power, our recognition and respect of this flame is essential to human development. I'm not reading anymore. The message here is there is a spiritual fire connection with other people. For some of us, this is a specific individual that can never be extinguished, that can never be distorted permanently. Your interpretation is the distortion. Your expectation is a distortion. So let it all go. Let it all go. Allow yourself to begin flowing freely within your grace. Okay, if you allow yourself to freely flow, then you'll begin understanding what it is this fire is trying to illuminate. Okay, because really that's what our connections with other people are trying to do, trying to bring to light the things we need to be aware of. Okay, what do you need to be aware of? What is this connection mirroring for you? What is it? Have you taken the time to see, not see them, but see how they are mirroring, see what reflections of you are being put on them? And maybe if we can go ahead and give ourselves some time to just look, because remember, that's the main thing. We don't want to see it. We don't want to look. We don't want to see it. We don't want to hurt. But what ends up happening? If you walk away from yourself with your eyes shut, not knowing what the path is before you start walking, you end up falling on your face. You're going to fall flat on your face. And really, who are you going to be mad at after that? You're going to say it's everyone else's fault? You could if you want, but that doesn't do anything but have that lesson circle back around, because avoidance, right? So this was a really eye-opening reading. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the reading. We'll see how much I'll be able to integrate this in my life. Probably not much. If you guys were wondering, I did finally make available that black magic revocation. This is to undo black magic that has been done on you. Spells, curses, hexes, all sort of black magic fuckery. To undo that. And the second portion of this workshop is spiritual self-defense, energetic self-defense. So if you're constantly being attacked, you're constantly struggling because of other people's attempts to hurt you, harm you, this workshop is amazing. It's on my website, Black Magic Revocation and Energetic Self-Defense. So give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. And like, share, subscribe, and come back and see me again. All right. Bye, guys.